Thank you for joining us for another edition of Chicano Music Chronicles with Mark Guerrero. Mark Guerrero is a singer-songwriter and recording artist who's been making music since he was a teenager in East Los Angeles in the 60s as part of what has become known as the East Side Sound. He's the son of the late great father of Chicano music, Lalo Guerrero. Mark Guerrero, who has a degree in Chicano Studies from Cal State Los Angeles, is dedicated to preserving the rich cultural heritage of Chicano music. And now, here's Mark Guerrero.
Welcome to Chicano Music Chronicles, where my mission is to entertain and inform you about Chicano music. We feature the music of the artists who built the roads on which today's Chicano artists travel. I also endeavor to shine a light on the contributions Chicano artists have made to mainstream rock and popular music. The focus of today's edition of Chicano Music Chronicles is the golden age of the East Side Sound. In the early 1960s in East Los Angeles, California, there was a music explosion which was probably as big in the number of bands and as unique as what was going on in Liverpool, England at the same time. There were many teenage bands playing in many venues who developed a style and a sound all their own. I had a band at the time called Mark and the Escorts, and later, the Men from Sound, that were also a part of the scene. I call the early 60s the golden age because that's when the East Side Sound was born. In the later 60s, the music in East LA went through changes, like in the larger rock picture, bringing British invasion, psychedelic, and Latin elements into the musical mix. The late 60s and early 70s produced groups such as El Chicano, Tierra, Macondo, Yaqui, and my band, Tango, who recorded for A&M Records. The early 80s brought about the emergence of Los Lobos. All these bands, and many more, had roots in the early East Side Sound. In this program, I will be interviewing 7 guests who were part of the boom that was the East Side Sound, including members of the Premiers, the Blendells, Cannibal and the Headhunters, the Romancers, the Solace Brothers, and the Sisters. We'll also be playing each artist's classic recording. All the following interviews were done by telephone, so the quality of the sound may vary due to different kinds and qualities of phones used by the guests. My first guest is one of the original members of Cannibal and the Headhunters, Richard Scar Lopez. We discuss the history of the group and their mega hit, Land of a Thousand Dances. How you doing, Scar?
Oh, pretty good. And you, Mark?
Very good. Haven't seen you in a while. You know, we're doing a show here on the East Side Sound of the mid-'60s, early to mid-'60s, and of course, the record you guys made, Cannibal and the Headhunters, was a huge hit, a national hit. The song Land of a Thousand Dances by Chris Kenner, how did you guys come to record it?
Well, it came about, the song came about anyway from Cannibal forgetting the words on stage.
Oh, that's the na-na-na-na part, right?
Right. And Chris Kenner, when he did his original, it wasn't on there, of course.
Right.
So Cannibal forgot some words when we were singing the song, and he went into the na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, and he just kept doing it. And he couldn't remember the words to come back to, so he kept doing the na-na-na-na, and before you knew it, the audience was doing it. And that's how the na-na-na-na became part of Land of a Thousand Dances.
At this point, I'd like to briefly interrupt Scar's interview for a real treat. I'm going to play a soundbite of Frankie Cannibal Garcia, who passed away in the mid-'90s, talking about how the na-na-na-na chorus of Cannibal and the Headhunters version came about. This clip is courtesy of Rampart Records, the label that released Cannibal and the Headhunters version of Land of a Thousand Dances in 1965.
The music was starting to change.